Thank you for tuning in with Enchantress. That's me, the Babbler. That's me on this evolutionary spree. So once again, I am just intuitively channeling in and listening to Spirit and honoring the call. And just like that, I hit record because Spirit said to hit record. And it got me to thinking, like Spirit said, there would be days like this. Days where you feel like you sit in this limbo kind of state of not reacting, not moving, this hangman position, like where you observe all that is just transpiring without the reacting part. You know what I mean? Because we tend to do a lot of those things once upon a time ago in a land not too far away. You know, what can I say? That this hanged man position can be a good visual to use in terms of understanding the command posts that we decide to consciously choose and move on. But during this transition period of when so much is happening, where there's a lot of infusion, there's a lot of transformation, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of downloads, there's a lot of uploads, there's a lot of implodes, there's a lot of like uh-ohs, there's a lot of like oh no's, there's a lot of like realizations, like a lot of epiphanies being received, like so many things intermingling on a conscious level. Like you can't just lighten that load of what conscious means to be able to see so free, the intermingling, the infusion of so many things that interconnect the dots that are what is all is, what is anything. Nothing out of something comes this, you know, and having this feeling of purpose, right, that we must come into alignment with, this search, this quest, this evolution spin, all these things that are like happening all at once. And we want to be up to par with our own freaking imagined illusion standards of fucking imposters that raid and invade our minds, because we hang on to all these attachments, these vines, and swing along and just like intermingle with that too, and then come to the vines of truth that just exude from within you on out, and you see what so many things are truly all about. And it's just like forgetting about everything that you think you know, and it's like, hey, Spirit said come back tomorrow. Does that even make sense? Right? I go off the meter. Call me crazy. Hey, Spirit said let go, let flow, let growth happen in your own know. Just listen. These are the seeds that you sow into your know, into your grow. What feels right for you is right for you. But get into that know for your grow. And who is Spirit? What is Spirit? Spirit said, what? Who? Who's Spirit? You crazy? Get into those inner knows for your inner grows. Like, who is it that thinks? Who is it that speaks? Who is it that hears? And who's the one that listens, my dears? It's like, what's happening here? Spirit said, check in. Check in, sis. Check in, bro. What's going on? What's good? What's good? For your inner growth and know. There's just so much like happening. and to digest, in like to be conscious of the cycle that is cycling itself through and through. Like, no matter how you want to interwove and look at these things, these grooves, these levelings of consciousness, these evolutionary rhythms, frequencies, vibrations that we find ourselves consciously like realizing exist or here, and then the processing of that, my dears, it's just like it can be overwhelming. It can feel overwhelming, and then you feel this obligation to go and do. I must do. I must uproot this pollute, and I must charge in and do. Because we all, inevitably, wrong word, but we all, at some root, want to be heard, seen, received, felt, understood, overstood, whatever. And so the hear me roar symphony that orchestrates these beats of everybody, me, even at the root of it, even the one that's most giving at the end of it all, even the one that's most giving because it's the right things to do, still comes from the hear me roar too. Groove. Own that. It's a revolutionary pill to swallow. How hollow, but how full that feels to seal this deal of inner feels that is our real. These are our reals. These wheels do appeal to all of us in some kind of way, shape, or form. How we get on with things and how we interplay with things and what level of consciousness we choose to be conscious on, like, is always a choice. And it's always work. Spirit said there would be days like this, Jennifer. He said, I don't feel like talking out loud. I just want to hear the voices in my head keep on floating on about. But these things, these voices, these things, these thoughts, are they yours? These attachments, these things, what are you filtering through this collective, akashic, freaking record of a film that just films its way through and through these thoughts, these things. When you don't know your thing, my dears, when you don't know your swing, batter, come up to the batter, like, batter, pitch that ball. What are they pitching? Do we take this fall, or do we rack that ball? Like, home run. To where? To what constitution of the game rules that made this game? How do you want to live it out and engage? Like, what is anything in its original form or sense when it has been colored in already upon its first breath of fresh air? The moment you exit your mother's womb, I'm recording.
No, but
I'm recording.
I needed someone to read it.
I'll read it to you now.
No.
So yeah, listen. So real life things come into the mix of all things anyways. So I will come back to the swing of this thing here. So she needs to study, and she projects this on me, as if I'm the one that needs to study when I'm the one that's helping her at this time. But that's what she wants to do. She wants to interrupt this align. So that is what also has been happening too, in this parental groove of my own evolution too, of 10 wins, baby. Because Spirit says a whole lot of things, and my patience as a parent, you see, and the overall energy of the things that I put into this communication and relationship and evolutionary growth as a parent who has a very consciously awake child, that it's interesting to astrologically see and understand these kind of comprehends, and just understanding the engagement between air and fire, these elements that are playing and intermingling, and the differences between the air and the fire signs, and they're intermingling with amongst one another. And then, you know, we are also technically in Western astrology orbiting through Aqua season or Cap season, whichever you want to view. I mean, astrology is very interesting, so that is just something that we should all definitely like tune into. But yes, so let me get to my parental groove before, you know, I lose my cool, which I won't. It's just, you know, expression getting to express itself. I really lost my line. But that happens all the time. So I'm just going to let it go and flow. Like Spirit said, go and record, right? There will be days like this. Interruptions too, boo. There will be people that will try to come and push your buttons. They will trigger, pull that finger, and they will not care either. Especially with those air elements in. They just come in and speak, and they sweep you off like the wind, and they be like, ooh, girl, keep up with it. It's not personal. 12-12 is what it said there. But, you know. And then they'd be like, you know, you know, because Spirit said for them too, you see. So, you know, Spirit speaks to all of us. If you can see these things, these thoughts, these things, these attachments, you see, what are yours, and what does the air bring to you, you see, and what conscious choices are you making in your own developments of your own evolution. You know, these thoughts that we think, these wands that we hold, this sphere, this globe of life, these pastures, these waters, this earth, everything that is attached. You are reflective, introspective of the path, the passage. What are you reflecting on? What are you, like, you know, considering? Everything is here. All the elements are here. Fire, passion, internal, my dear. These elements so clear. Love, water, earth, choices, journeys, reflection, introspection. If these cards want to reflect anything, let it be that. How one goes in and reflects, introspects, ponders, listens, tunes in to all that's around, that connects this person with every single element that is part of their own establishments. Queen of Cups. Lovely energy too. I've been like really like meditating on this energy of this card. Meditating because I keep getting this card even just for myself, right? And part of my journey to being, you know, a single mother and just, coming from an abusive background, and, many trials and tribulations, and, sad storylines, and just hardships, and, roller coaster rides of a life, and just so many things that, if I can sit here, I can sing you a sad song of a life that has occurred and transpired throughout my days, right? But that's that victim wave of a crave that is lacking in that Queen of Cups energy, type love, type feel, all the things we've, as when we go through a lot of certain things, the lack of worth of self that we feel, the lack of love that we have, because it has never been developed. It's not that it's lacking, it's just lacking in its own development, you see. When you can't find reasons why it's so important to fill your own cup up with that self kind of love, it's because you carry within you poor developmental skills in this department. It's not that you're lacking in it. You have this naturally. Nobody can fucking fill up your fucking cup of love except you. Where did it go to begin with? It's never been missing. Well, yeah, it's been missing. From the superficial layer that needs it. That feels like that it's lacking. It's anything that we do as humans on this planet. You know what I mean? You have to develop your skills. The Queen of Cups has developed her skills in that department. Therefore, she has her own cup of love. And it's not that she's, stand back. You can't enter my sphere of kingdomhood. It has nothing to do with that, because love is not, it's not harsh. It has nothing to fucking do with that. It's just a centering of the self that is in that level of understanding that it's balanced and in harmony. Not lacking, and yet still giving, because love is. So she's the representation of that element. So therefore, she gives, she giveth. She receives it too. Understanding her stance. And it doesn't even mean that, oh my God, it has to come from every which way, because you could be a queen that nobody shows you love, let's say, or whatever the case may be. And I lost the whole point of that one even there too. But that's okay. That happens too. Spirit says there will be days like this. They want me to go through this here. But it's about the communication. Anyways, my dears. So in that in itself, for the Queen of Cups anyways, she never did not have this. She always had this. So the embodiment of this, energy and stuff like that, I've been, totally meditating on for myself, is what I was saying, because due to these life experiences on this level of plane of existence that has been a reality for me at this current, passing time. Anywho, I've had to, and I've been in my masculine side of my energy a lot, and having to do that action, that sun energy, that fire to, you know what I mean, that commando, that mother, that father, that doctor, that teacher, that, disciplinarian, that, friend, that foe, that, everything you think of, having to be it all. Provider, nurturer, cook, repairer, all these kind of different things, which overpowered like that feminine aspect of love and nurturing that if I catch myself at this time, it's one of my hiccups or my growing pains of reminders to soften my form. You know? So, yeah. So, thinking about that. Magician. The Magician. Another one. Balanced. Here, in the masculine energy. 2. Masculine, feminine, everything. All elements show up here. Even though in this card, in this deck, it's showing as a man, the Magician. He has his wand, his staff. But if you look at him too, he looks like a girl. So I guess it's perception. Androgynous, kind of like. Look on the side over there. Could be a female. You never know. But here, balance, alchemy, all the elements present here in this card always. Being able to make manifest consciously, you know, the world that you see for yourself. Balanced in all the elements and energies that you find during this time being brought up for you to finer tune, you know? See? Spirit moved me and Spirit said, record. I don't even know the reason for the recording. I just started pulling cards and I said I had to go be a mother. And I'm still over here recording. It's gonna come back up. I need you to proofread my essay. You know, going back into that parental state of, you know, like balance and structure and order too. You know what I mean? Our kids can drive us motherfucking crazy. And let me tell you, mine is my biggest trigger of all. And she is my polar opposite astrologically on this Western hemisphere of astrology in ways of thinking and stuff like that and perceiving. Yeah, trigger, pull her finger. She pulls it constantly all the time. And my mastery in being able to raise her, oh, this sweet divine. And that was at 2222. Okay? There on that element, has been a testament in itself. And people will tell you that I have the patience like Mother Teresa. Like no other. Just yesterday. Yesterday what she did, she threw a cat toy at my face. I just sat there and I was like, Spirit, this girl need an ass whipping. Because humor will always be my divination tool that I call upon at every motherfucking moment in my life, especially with the shit I've been dealt. Talk about shit in short end of the stick. You'd be like, what? Humor is what you use? I would have murdered somebody. But yeah, so you get the drift. So like, you know, the development of this kind of double-edged sword freaking kind of process to raise your kids so motherfucking differently than the world you know it to be, and to be so conscious and aware. You see, it is going to be a double-edged sword. You see, especially when you're raising some like indigos, crystals, and kids that see and know, and they be like, I'm a soul too. What you doing telling me what to do? You be like, what? Who? What? You can't emotionally manipulate me at 6, telling you like, what did you just say? I'm a soul ancient. Also, I was your mother. What did you just say? Exactly. So, it is what a ride. And, I have a lot to say in this department. That's part of what Spirit keeps telling me to go keep talking about. And like, Spirit says. I'm like, Spirit, don't you know I'm going through stuff right now too? That this energy too of mine, you know, which I am getting into this magician mode. You see this alchemy of this Queen of Cups, this magician energy of alchemy, balancing, harmony of all the elements you see, to be able to hold my staff in my own hand through the conscious eyes of this seer within me, receiver, giveth my own, temple, shrine, the opportunity to get into my own align, for I shall shine. Alchemist is I. To be honest, whoa, kind of woken, kind of spoken, kind of word. You see these elements that flow through me. You see, I'm able to see. Such magicianry. Consider that a word I make up. But what you want me to do? What you want me to do? And the lovers want to come out too. So there's a lot of pairings in actions going on, you see. There's a lot of chemistry being awoken, you see. And it usually is always going to happen with the lovers, you see. Because that's the spark that Cupid loves to ignite, okay? To shoot them arrows. And he ain't polite. Love is always going to invoke for this human population that is on some like Queen of Cups again. On some like evolutionary spree. It's always gonna be love. That's the motivator of who we. Oh yes, you see. Lovers are we? Traveling these lands like Let me see what's out there for me. Let me see this tree of life, gift and sight. Oh, this boy. Oh, he makes me feel so right. Oh, this girl. I can't get her off my mind. And then, surprise, surprise, evolution uprise. Because people are like, what's this connection? What's this I feel? What's this being awoken in me? You see, these pitter patterings of my heart so sweet. It's like, he makes me feel these things, you see. Now I go crazy, universe. I go crazy. Because the devil's a mofo. Okay? The devil has chained us together. Alright? So perception can be the temptation you see so sweet to be reliant on this codependency of a love so sweet that we think is the everything of the mastery of the fire and the passion that rages inside our being. And fine, that gets our pulses racing. That gets our juices flowing into our growing. And that's okay. That's okay. But let's own that stage that's interplaying into like this flame of an ignite that captures these two lovers, and they want to take a bite and have the time of their lives. Oh, this cup of love you must find within yourselves first, you see, to be worthy of such partnering, you see. They look at he as if he is the cursor of such a domain, when it is the lessons, the karmic, the evolution that these two must obtain for themselves. All he does is present to these two the options and the choices and the opportunities that are presented and could be. The devil. He imposes so much misery. That sounds like you're pointing so many fucking fingers to me. Just own shit, please. You know what I mean? I know what I mean when I speak. Sometimes I sound like he. I said the masculine that resides in me be like slicing through the bullshit. You see, to get into this element of evolutionary satisfaction. Oh my. Speak about satisfaction. So you see, I must go So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, you know, what's going on in your life. The more that we connect, the more that I can take rides down at this time, you see, because so many things are occurring everywhere, and the more